Okay, here we are for slideshow part 2. This first picture is,
me in the controls of the plane.
yeah, this was from a few days ago, but we didn't get it in yesterday's. And if Nolan looks a little chubby-cheeked, it's because we had to resize the picture and it doesn't look quite right. Did you get to meet the pilots, Nolan?
Yes, and there's like 1,000 controls there, and he says it's like a huge video game.
Oh.
But it's real.
What's this?
Me
That's Nolan on the plane.
next to the window. The windows were pretty small because you don't want oxygen to run out.
That's right. This is a wonderful picture that Steph took. What is it of, Steph?
That is the bed that Lincoln died in.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the bed.
It was in a plastic case, so it wasn't going to turn out well.
Now, did they say if his feet stuck through those things? I mean, because he couldn't fit on there.
There was no one there to tell us anything about the bed.
Oh, okay. There we are on
the subway.
the subway.
Looking bored.
It was a long ride to Mount Vernon.
Oh, come on, we still on the bus ride.
Yeah, we still had the bus ride after this.
That was like a half an hour.
Yeah, the total journey was almost an hour and a half. How long did it take us to get back to the hotel?
Like 10 minutes.
Because we took a cab, huh?
Yes, that was a lot faster, and it's like the train was terribly fast, and it didn't even get us halfway there.
And what did you do on the cab, Nolan?
I just sat there and took a nap.
Oh,
That's the garden behind Washington's house.
yeah, that's Mount Vernon.
Okay.
We have a bunch of garden pictures here.
Well, those were artichokes. And that was a whole bunch of stuff. But
And it has a big hole.
There's
right there.
like fruit trees and things that grow on the fences, and I thought that was really cool, so I took a picture of it.
I do not remember when we saw that whole thing.
It's supposedly one of the most accurate colonial tribute gardens in the United States. I don't know that there's a lot of them, but it's supposed to be one of the best.
Hey, look! I think those are the apple thing. I think that was the apple tree growing on the fence.
No, I think that's when we were trying to take a picture of... Oh, wait, yeah, that is me taking a picture of the apples.
Yeah, it was a green apple tree that I found and I was walking across to you. It's like we found you sitting on the fence and looking at the
And there's
apples.
big giant
And then
cabbages
Mommy
in the
found
background.
bees. I think she took... Didn't you take a picture of one of the bees?
Yes, we'll come to it.
Okay.
I'm not sure I put that one in here.
Ooh, that's the gun that Lincoln got shot with in the head.
Who shot him?
I don't remember his name. Lando Calrissian.
No.
No, that's the guy from Star Wars. No, John Wilkes Booth shot Lincoln, and that's his gun, suspended in the... I don't know how they suspended it. I mean, it's just a big block of acrylic,
Yeah.
so nothing can ever happen to it.
Yeah, I didn't want my picture taken because I was kind of busy right there. I was busy listening to something.
Yeah. And what's that, Nolan?
That's where the Booth guy shot Lincoln, and he just jumped down from that big thing and broke his leg and ran off stage so that nobody knew.
Yeah, and the chair on the right in the picture is the chair Lincoln was sitting in. It's a reproduction, but
That
that's
one?
where he was sitting, yeah. Well, they can't see a point, the people watching this show. And that's exactly what the booth looked like on that night, and they've never touched it, and nobody's ever sat in there since.
That seems weird.
I don't think they had that fire extinguisher off to the right there, so that's probably where the new stuff stopped. Or the electricity. They wouldn't have had electricity either.
Well, they have new flags up.
Yeah, because the original flags got torn. But okay, here's a picture of Nolan. I don't remember where. Oh, this was in Ford's Theater. Got a close-up of the Nolikins. Here's Nolan at the Mount Vernon Cafe. We were dying for lunch. very hungry, so we ate at the Mount
I'm
Vernon
like,
Cafe.
what are you doing? Why did I need my picture?
The Mount Vernon Inn restaurant.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's what it was. And there's Steph at the Mount Vernon Inn restaurant.
Tomorrow you get to see Jefferson.
Yeah, we're going to see the Jefferson Memorial tomorrow.
We'll put it in part 3.
Yeah.
That's the Washington House. That's where he lived.
This is
There
how,
was quite a glare to smile for this picture, in case you're wondering about the faces.
I think the face was in reaction to Nolan doing something.
What? My sun was in my eyes.
Well, this is Mount Vernon, and that's the house behind. That's Washington's house. It's not as big as you might think. It's nice size, but it's I don't know, maybe 4,000 square feet, something like that. Very big for its time, of course. There's Nolan and I running in the same spot.
He's trying to hold my hand so that I wouldn't be pointing.
That's right.
Anyways, I didn't think of pointing.
And here's all 3 of us.
But somebody else took.
Yeah, someone else took our picture, and in the same spot. And what's that, Nolan?
Where George Washington was buried.
Yeah, that's his coffin.
But I wondered, they could have removed the lid.
It's pretty heavy, but if you remove the lid, you'll see a skeleton in there. You'll see George Washington's skeleton.
Oh my gosh, I thought you'd see his actual body. They ripped off his body parts.
Well, no, it all disintegrates in time.
Oh,
Who's that?
George Washington?
Yeah, he came back from the dead during our trip there. Or it was a guy in costume, one way or the other.
I think he came back from the dead.
You think so?
He was very good at his job.
Yeah.
He told us very cool stories.
I thought they were real. Like when Mount Vernon used to be a farm.
Yeah, all his
It
stories
was a
were.
farm. They
Yeah.
were true stories.
They're true stories. It was just an actor guy, and that was his real hair. So that was very impressive as well, because I spent the entire time staring at his hair, and it was coming out of his head.
Well, and he kept kind of wiping it off, too.
Yeah,
It was hot.
yeah. Yeah, especially the way he was dressed. And here's Nolan.
In front of a big river.
What was the river called?
I forget.
It was the Potomac River.
Potomac.
And it's
Oh.
but the George Washington guy called it the Potomac River. So
Yeah.
either way, they used to call it something
It's
different.
just behind his house. That's on the back way.
Yeah, this was on behind his house.
So I'm going to take a picture when he was cooking the food, because they just said in the main house. It was not in the main house.
Okay.
Where all the food was. Then you didn't take a picture of it.
Okay. And here's the last picture, and this was just right down when we walked down to the Potomac, and that was some gross water.
Yes, it had bags, food, yucky sticks, and
Now, the picture
dirt.
doesn't have bad coloring. That was really the color of the water.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, they
Brownish
had old
gray.
bags,
Brownish gray.
gross peanut butter, and gross peanut shells.
Yeah, it was. You would not want to swim in that water. You just know you get sick.
Yeah, but didn't you say Abraham Lincoln drunk out of that?
He ate fish that came from that river that made him sick.
Yuck.
Yeah.
Is that how he died, or did he
Yeah,
get
yeah.
You know how he died.
Yeah, but it was that before he went to the Ford Theater and died.
Yeah, but one of his kids got sick and died from. They called it the Potomac fever, and Washington and Lincoln each lost a kid from that. All right, that's the end of our show.